is Diary of a Mystic. Welcome back to my channel.
This is Diary of a Mystic. Welcome back to my channel.
This is Diary of a Mystic. Welcome back to my channel.
This is Diary of a Mystic. Welcome back to my channel.
This is Diary of a Mystic. Welcome back to my channel. This is Diary of a Mystic. Welcome back to my channel.
This is Diary of a Mystic. Welcome back to my channel.
I think that he was looking for a relationship with me, but I knew that he was in the process of a separation. So for me, I was kind of having a hard time with that, where it's like, because he told me, oh, we're putting the house up for sale, and I told him, I'm not comfortable with considering you my significant other and vice versa while you are still like in the midst of a divorce. Like, I was like, once you and her are finalized with the divorce, I'm like, once you and your kids have your new location that you wanted to move to set up, once all of that is where it needs to be, I'm like, then you and me can talk about, eventually like dating seriously and like building something with each other. But I mean, that was kind of my standstill on that, and I feel guilty that I should have like waited to, I guess, like initiate anything that we had together until after his divorce was finalized, as opposed to doing it while they were in the midst of separating. It was like talking about it. So,
and this, it's not uncommon, and it's not. We appreciate you being forthright with us.
This is Diary of a Mystic. Welcome back to my channel. Deck of the Lenormand cards, so it's very extensive, and that's why I'm breaching this in two parts. This is coming from the perspective of Nichol Kessinger specifically, and her part or role in the Chris Watts case, as well as what is happening in her life, or perhaps what she is also dealing with at the moment. I want to begin with the two top rows in this first video. And when you read Lenormand, you always look for the significator cards, which there's only two, which is the man and the woman, and their proximity within the reading. Child is also a significator card as well, but because I'm focusing on Nichol Kessinger, she is identified as the female in the reading, which you see at the bottom row left of the reading. So beginning with the top part of the reading, we begin with the card of the key. And the key is very much about secrets. It can also be about revealing information. It can point to any type of information and also wisdom. So I feel that there's some type of information that Nichol Kessinger has. This is the first card in the reading, It can also be about confidence, sureness, complete control. And I asked while I was shuffling these cards on her involvement, this also can be an indicator of a yes answer. So the key is the top card. Next to the key, we have the card and I'm looking at my notes. This is the crossroad card. So the crossroad card is neutral. So whatever card is next to that gives that card more of an answer or more revealing information. So crossroad is next to key. So there was a turning point in the decision that was made, perhaps surrounding the events of Chris Watts making the decision to annihilate his family. This also could have been any type of hidden secret. So the key holds the answers to the hidden secret, which may indicate that Nichol Kessinger may hold other answers to the hidden secret or secrets of this case. Crossroads, of course, is also about a time for decision. So there was a decision that was made and a choice, and it's a turning point type card. Next to Crossroads, we have the card of the Book of Secrets. So Key, Crossroads, Book of Secrets. This is classified information. This could be anything that is hidden, unknown, and any card surrounding this can help unlock the secret. So the Book of Secrets is next to Crossroads and Key. So once again, I feel that she has more information that could be helpful in this case, or this also could be authorities who are gathering more information. Next to the Book of Secrets, we have Fox, the fourth card in the first row. Fox comes in as being manipulative, clever, tells you what you want to hear. Wears a mask, is cunning, a scammer. Okay, so these are the attributes of Nichol Kessinger's personality, perhaps, of being clever, of being manipulative, telling you what you want to hear, wearing a mask. This also could be identified with Chris Watts as well in terms of his narcissistic mask he was wearing. So interesting, we have Key, Crossroads, Book of Secrets next to Fox. So the first four cards of this reading are very telling. So we're dealing with secrets, hidden knowledge, hidden information, choice, decision, secrecy, cunningness, manipulative energies, scams. So the next card we see is Ring. Next to Ring is Heart. Ring indicates an actual piece of jewelry. Can also indicate marriage, partnership, being a couple, engagement. So Ring is a positive card, but in this reading, we're looking at it at the viewpoint of something was given to Nichol Kessinger that we know about. She was given a necklace by Chris Watts. There also could have been a contract between the two of them. There may also have been talks about engagement together that has not been released. And this establishes the couple and ring is in the middle of that row. So it's an indicator of partnership. Next to heart, it's also a positive card, but in this reading, it's indicating love, emotions, affairs, emotional flirtation, joy, love. So they were in love, and there was some type of commitment or contract that was ongoing during their affair together. But there was also, of course, moving in secret, manipulative energies, a choice of some kind, cunningness. So next to heart, which is the swans forming a heart with the heart in the middle, we have child. Next to child, we have mouse, and then we have whip. This is where the reading starts to get dark. Child indicates, of course, obviously a small child. This could be indicative of the children. And next to child, we have mouse or mice. Mice is a negative card. There was stress surrounding the children. There was stress surrounding something negative towards the children. Chris Watts may have been looking at the children as stealing his joy or stealing his or wearing him down. Mice in the Lenormand is very much about wearing something down or taking something away. This could be theft, thievery, something is being stolen from you, whether it's a physical object or something emotional. This also could be indicative in the reading that the children were taken away. So they were stealing something from that relationship between him and Nichol Kessinger. So this is being validated in the reading. The children were being looked at as thieves or taking or wearing him down or stealing from the new life that he wanted to create. Next to mice, we have whip. Whip is a negative card as well. Mice is considered a negative card. Whip is a very negative card in terms of abuse. Whip next to child or near child next to mice. Whip is confrontation, pain, punishing. It's a card of hurt. It's a card of pain. So he may have felt that they were stealing from him, stealing his joy, stealing from this relationship he wanted to create, and he acted out with abuse and murdering his children. It's a card of punishment, pain, and hurt. So we end on whip. Now the second line, the second row, begins with coffin. So we're now in the second row to the left of the reading. Below key is coffin. Coffin is also a negative card. This is ending, shock, place of darkness, death, sudden ending, tragedy. So this is validating in the reading that he ended their lives through pain and abuse, hurt, and the ending and shock and loss of this and the death and tragedy. So children comes up first. Children to me in this reading is very much the focus on why he did what he did. The children were looked at more as not something that he wanted anymore. They weren't his joy. They were stealing his joy. And that just shows you the darkness and the place of energy of darkness that he was dealing with. So next to Coffin, we have the Lilies. And Lilies is a neutral card. So any cards that are surrounding Lilies, Lilies is also indicative of, especially after Coffin, there now comes death and the peace and transition of death. Okay, so Lilies comes in as a card of tranquility in terms of leading into death. Okay. Next to Lilies, we have the card of the birds. And birds, it's interesting that this card is right next to Coffin and Lilies. Next to birds is letter. Birds is very much about gossip or communication. It's a neutral card, so whatever cards are surrounding it, it gets amplified. Anxious talking, voicemails, verbal commentary, communication. So I feel that there was some type of communication that took place after the murders between him and Nichol Kessinger, even though she is stating that there wasn't, because this is a card of news, communication, talking. Okay, this is verbal talking next to it. Next to birds is letter. This is, once again, also about communication. So there was a lot of communication going on, email, texting, some type of communication was going on, especially with these two cards next to one another. Next to these two cards of communication, we see snake in the middle. Snake is a negative card, and this can also indicate a female rival in terms of women. Enemy, manipulative, jealous, clever again. So I feel very strongly from the Lenormand reading that she had a great influence over the destination or choice that Chris Watts decided to choose to do. I feel that she was very jealous of Shanann, very jealous of Shanann's success, very jealous of Shanann's life, very impressed and taken back by Shanann's house, Shanann's belongings, Shanann's beauty. She felt threatened by Shanann. She's very jealous and resentful of Shanann. She wanted what Shanann had, but not necessarily, she did not want the children. She wanted her own children with him. So snake is in the dead center of the reading, so there was a lot of resentment. There was also a lot of resentment about the pregnancy. This could have been coming from Chris, but this also could have been coming from her. So here we have Stork next to snake. Stork is change. This is also any type of expected family addition or pregnancy. There was a lot of resentment around or surrounding the pregnancy for Shanann, coming from Chris, also coming from Nichol Kessinger. I believe that she knew previous about the pregnancy before the murders. I don't believe that she found out through the news since Shanann's Facebook page was public. That's just common sense. Of course, she would be checking up on Shanann's Facebook page, and she most likely knew that she was pregnant. So there was a lot of resentment surrounding this pregnancy, which normally Stork would indicate a positive change or an upgrade in your situation, especially with an expected family addition or pregnancy. But in this reading, because of the surrounding cards, it's looked at as resentment and a negative. Next to Stork, we have Cross. This is another negative card. So Stork is being framed by two negative cards, Snake and Cross. Cross is very much about a burden. This pregnancy was a burden. It was looked at as a burden. It was difficult. Okay. This is also a card of difficulty, suffering. So Shanian's pregnancy with baby Nico was very much looked at with resentment and suffering and hate and a burden from the point of Chris Watts and also from the point of Nichol Kessinger from this reading. So that just gives you more of a validated insight from this spread of how negative that pregnancy was to him, as well as to possibly Nichol Kessinger, when it should have been the happiest time in a family's life. So next to Cross, we have Rider with the woman on the horse over the rainbow. You always look for what's surrounding Rider, because Rider is a card of news or delivery. Okay, it's on the move. So the cards that are surrounding Rider, above it we have Mouse, next to it we have Cross, and next to that we have the card of Garden. This is a public place. He buried them in a public place, a location that was out in the middle of nowhere. It was public, it was open. Anybody could have stumbled upon eventually Shanian Watts' body in that shallow grave. So that's also an indicator of public with garden movement. This is where it also starts to connect with the general public. So the rider is movement, direction, something moving on its way, and then it becomes public with garden. This also could be internet, public, so the news is out. The next two rows will come out in the second video. I don't want to make the first video too long. So this is kind of showing you that the Lenormand's really good at showing you a storyboard or showing you the story. And you can see how the story has begun and how it's unfolding. So I'll be back on with the second part of the Nichol Kessinger Lenormand reading. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment on this video as well. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed, and I'll speak to you soon.